morning. Good morning. You already know what time it is. Tony, Lavelle, 2 minute hash purchase. Pull up to the table, grab a seat, let's begin. Real conversations when the hats come in. Life lessons, relationships too. Different perspectives, but the talk stay true. Let's talk about it, yeah, let's talk about it. Life, love, truth, and wisdom, yeah, we talking about it. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., don't miss it. On Facebook and YouTube, pull up and come kick it. Tony got perspective, the veil bring it truth. And when Queen Watkins pull up, she spilling that tea for you. Queen Watkins segment, like that T-A-T. You know when Queen step in the room, the conversation getting real soon. Real soon, yeah. Let's talk about it, let's talk about it, talk about it. 2 minute hash podcast, yeah, we talking about it.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Tuesday. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. What it do, my guy?
What's up, bro?
What's going on with you?
Got settled in?
Man, well, I tell you, we've been running on fumes these last few days. Fumes. Yeah, but we finally got I think last night we finally got a good night's sleep because we came from downtown probably about 10 something. So and we just waking up. So yeah, we got a good little sleep, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It was good. Train ride down was good, man. I want to apologize because I thought I really forgot about, not having no not having no service on the train.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. When I got ready to get on there, I was like, oh man, they won't let me on. I forgot they don't have Wi-Fi on the train.
Man, I jumped up so fast because I got up and did something. And then I said, let me go get up. I said, Tony, I'm probably on or not on. I don't know yet. And I said, dog.
No, man, that train ride threw me off. I really forgot that they don't have Wi-Fi on there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's all good, bro. How was the surgery?
I was good. Yeah, she got to go back and get one more injection and do something that they had to do at the hospital. But
okay,
she's still percolating and going. So
good. Man, I
giving me orders this morning already.
I really don't want to talk about this dude, but because it's still some delusional people out here, man, that think that this dude is doing just an awesome job. And it's still a bunch of, I got family members, they delusional too,
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard you say that before.
Yeah, I got a couple of family members that's delusional too.
Wow. That's new.
Yeah, they think that this dude is doing, because see, I don't really care about the party as much as I do about the people who in the party.
Correct.
And sometimes people even mistake the position itself.
Mm-hmm.
I respect the position itself. The
Correct.
office of president, I respect it. I respect the Congress position, senator position. I respect those positions. But sometimes we have people in those positions that don't do right in those positions, and I can't respect that. I don't care what party you in, Democratic or Republican. But some people are so, the Republicans this, the Democrats did. I don't care about the party as much as I care about the people who are doing the job in the party, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Well, I always said it's the same bird anyway, so
yeah. And that's why I just, but I think sometimes people be so crazy about which party they with, that they so sold on the party that they don't really, they're not really looking at the person that's in the office itself. They just, you gotta, just like I saw yesterday when you was posting the stuff yesterday about the president being in Memphis. It was a lady, a white lady, they were saying these people, you can tell these people, that's why Memphis is so crazy, because these people don't even respect the president. And they was like, you got to earn respect. You know what I'm saying? It's not that we don't respect the office of the president. We don't respect the person that's in the president. Then that is the president, And so, when you start, telling people, that this and that, they don't respect the part. You gotta, respect is earned. We always talk about that,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting to me, man, just to see some of the memes and
yeah, they put
some of the memes. They had this man eat chicken outside.
He had CC's, he had this, he had
Man, eat chicken outside of Love's, and man, just these folks crazy, man. They had him you see him with the Memphis Tiger stuff on.
Yeah, I like these folks too. Well, what's so dumb though, man? You can
and it's good we can make light of this craziness, but it's Memphis be tripping anyway, bro. They go hard.
You could tell this dude is a clown. This man gonna say, "Oh, in a couple of weeks we won't have no crime in Memphis." Bro, where ain't no crime? Crime is that's why you got lawyers, prosecutors. Crime is $1 trillion business, doc. Ain't no crime going nowhere. I don't care where you at in the United States of America. You crazy. You a crime yourself.
Man, I've only been to a couple of and this is outside, and I believe there are some cities in the US with minimum to no crime. But these are small little towns where you got the population 700, 1,000, stuff like that, But I've been to some countries that crime is just not tolerated. You know what I'm saying? That crime is punishable by death, stuff like that. And I was in Aruba and they got a 0.0003% crime rate because they actually kick you off the island.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, but to come in and say Memphis in 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years that Memphis will have no crime is ludicrous.
Oh yeah, there ain't no way.
And I don't know how true this is, but they said Valerie Calhoun, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna move off him. But they said Valerie Calhoun interviewed him, and he said she was asking him about data centers, and he started talking about the electric bill and energy, and that the electric bills are gonna be going down, and you're gonna have they're going down sharply, and you're not gonna that would be nice, get this gas down first, then let's talk about this electric bill.
That man just talking out the side of his neck. He ain't had nothing else to say.
Right, but it's all good, man. I want to ask a question, man, because this is something, when I mentioned traveling,
mm-hmm.
And it's kind of getting harder and harder to do now. But when
on the 22nd, they said you need to be careful traveling here in the coming days.
Well, I do know that here in New Orleans right now, because of TSA,
mm-hmm.
And you got I guess they trying to work as less people as possible because people are not getting paid, so they trying to work as you know what I'm saying. I don't know.
Daggone TSA agents, they don't even know what they're doing being an ICE agent. That's stupid.
Yeah, they didn't put some ICE agents in there trying to supposedly help the TSA agents out and stuff. But in New Orleans, man, the airport lines are ridiculous. They showed on the news last night here. They showed the airport here. Man, stacks of you got to fly. If you got to fly somewhere, you want to get there. You know how they tell you to get there an hour, 2 hours before. You might want to double that time.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, you might want to double. Atlanta, I saw somebody going live from Atlanta, and the lady showing the line. The line was snaked. It was out. It was packed inside the building, and then she went across like a balcony to show outside, and the line was in a snake outside, as long as you can see. People trying to fly out, or fly out to wherever they're going. And Atlanta has always been one of those places, man, that I don't like to fly into because it's so big, and then you got to catch these trains, and then your flights be so close. And I see a lot of people miss flights in Atlanta, so that's one of those cities, man, I really never like to fly into.
Yeah,
which is Atlanta. But what I was getting to was when you do travel, how important is it for you to have cash, or what amount of money is a good amount of cash when you're traveling in the city or out of the country, city. Because I used to feel like that if I travel, I had to have a bunch of cash in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But again, now you travel in some of these cities and they be, you pull your money out trying to pull something out to pay for something, people watch it. So is it still for those people who do still travel, out of the country or travel out of state? Like for how much money do you think is essential? We're gonna do it by state, then we're gonna do it by country. So if you're traveling out of the state, out of the city, how much cash do you feel like you have to have in your pocket?
Because a lot of these different companies and stores and stuff are going cashless. So it's almost like you got to do your due diligence a lot of time before you travel to see what's going on in those different territories or what you're doing. And then like with you guys traveling, traveling abroad, the currencies and stuff change. So it's almost like you got to do your homework before you get up and get about this junk.
But the thing so let's talk about in the city and state.
Mm-hmm.
So when you travel in the city and state, I've always wanted to have cash because a lot of times, depending on, like you said, what city or state you're going to and what you plan on doing, you might have to pre-book your excursions or whatever you're doing before you get there, because sometimes you get to a city and you be like, you can't just walk up and just pay for it because they be booked up a week, 2 weeks in advance, stuff like that. So then you're paying for your stuff online before you get there, right? So your stuff is already booked. You already know what day you're going to do it, all that good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But then I've discovered too, man, that because I've always liked to have cash in my pocket, but when you go to certain places, because like you said, the stuff is going to like a cashless society, in a lot of places they going cashless. But what I've discovered is that you get to some of these places and the internet is sporadic or Wi-Fi is sporadic or their phone lines are down. We only accepting cash. Because think about how many stores you walked in where they tell you our card system down, we only accepting cash. You be like, let me turn around and walk out the door because I ain't got cash.
Okay, yep.
You see what I'm saying? So now it's like I said, I've always liked to have cash, but my reason for having the cash has kind of changed. It's more so now it's like, because you go in some of these places and they tell you, our machine down, we only accepted cash, and then I've seen so many people have to turn around and go back out the door, and I'd be like, step on up, because I had a little cash in my pocket. This trip was a little different because I really forgot to go to the bank, and I didn't go to the bank and get cash, so I literally have no cash, and fortunately, we haven't ran into any places where we needed cash like that. But I don't feel good.
Yeah. Generally, I know the last time me and Don went out of town, I think we got out like maybe $600-700 just because we had planned on going to some places there or whatever when we get there. Like soon we got there, we were gonna go somewhere, but it just depends. And then, like, if you're traveling, because normally 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be traveling with somebody. So that's why you have a little bit more than what you normally probably would have if you buy yourself. Right. But generally, $500 I think is the minimum that you should have in this cash on hand.
Yeah, I would probably say, depending on where I'm going in the States, probably. And now if I'm leaving Memphis going to New York,
you need a little bit more.
Yeah, because when you start, especially if you plan on doing any kind of shopping on the street, the street vendors, and that's the thing too. So depending on where you're going, if a lot of these street vendors, some of them they might have a little PayPal card, a card reader, tap or something like that. But a lot of them, they'll tell you I only deal in cash.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have some cash on you, in some of those instances. Now, when you're going out the country, you got to take cash because in certain countries, you got to be able to do the currency exchange.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they don't take the US dollar, and you're going to look like a fool walking around there. Now, you can take your credit card and use it in some places, but some places don't even take the visas and the credit cards and stuff here. Mm-hmm. And in their countries, not here, but in their country.
Yeah.
when you go to like in Vietnam, we was over there. Some places they took the if you use your debit card or your Visa card or MasterCard or whatever, they took it. But then in some countries, in some places over there, they own it. They have this thing where they got a QR code. So in the QR code has to be your bank has to be linked, and so you go into the restaurant or whatever, and you get your stuff, and then you have to scan the QR code to pay for it. Yeah. So you can't pull out your debit card because they're gonna be like, we don't take that, or your credit card. We don't take that. And
wow.
I was finna say that too. So, and when you out of the country too, so make sure you go to when you go to the bank to get whatever currency that you plan on exchange. Let's say you're gonna be in I don't know, Europe for a week, whatever. You want to take enough cash. You look at the exchange, the dollar rate, to kind of see what it is, so you know how much money you need, and that's good too. I always look at the exchange rate before you go to kind of see, because it may change a little bit, fluctuate, but it's not gonna change so drastic to where you saying, oh, the dollar is now 2 cents and it was 50 cents before you know what I'm saying? So get you some cash and make sure you don't fold your money. You know how some people like to fold their money up, put it in their purse or their wallet or whatever. Don't fold your money. If you got like a fanny pack or something like that, try to keep that money in an envelope or something to keep it flat and clear and straight, because those countries do not like wrinkled bills, man, or torn. If you got some torn bills, you can hang it up. They ain't gonna take them. You got $100 bill is torn, ripped, they ain't taking it.
What's so ironic a lot of time about some, like, especially when y'all go out of town sometime, a lot of times what you talk about be based off what's currently happening, but it be so timely.
Yeah, because what we do is, and I be fine because, I'm always looking for content anyway.
Right.
But I every trip, man, is so unique and different for us. And I don't care how many times we done been to a city, how many times we done been to a place. It's so unique. I look, because I started looking at stuff differently now. I can tell you, man, you can get so much content just from looking and going and finding stuff. And so yesterday it hit me because when we got on the train, I was like, man, I ain't go to the bank get no cash. And then she was like, well, we should be straight. And I was like, well, when we get to a restaurant and they don't, or they machine down, or we get somewhere and she was like, yeah, we probably should have got some. And I was like, a lot of times when you get to the cities and you're using the ATM, if they don't have an actual, good morning, Joseph, good morning, Miss Paula, good morning, Miss Loretta. If they don't actually have a ATM from your different bank there, then you got to pay the ATM fees or whatever. And so, and that could be, you could pay the bank their fee and then your bank fee. So, a lot of times I don't like to go to ATM because I don't want to have to pay 2 separate fees or pay a fee period on my money,
right.
And so I think it's important that you really do your research before you go somewhere and see. And I think you ought to have some minimum, because I know people that walk around like they ain't gonna never have less than $100 in their pocket, whether it's $100 folded up, balled up, wrapped up, and it's like emergency money for them. So they gonna always have something. And I used to do that too. I used to keep a $100 bill or a $50 bill rolled up, somewhere, stuffed somewhere. And then I would forget about it. I even had them. And then when I find out, I got that, I spent it, and then I went and replace it, But I think it's essential that you at least do your research before you go to another city and have an idea, at least some type of idea of what you plan on doing. If you just saying, well, we just going to wing it when we get there, you better have you some cash.
Yeah.
We going to wing it. We just going to wing it. You better have some type of cash. And, oh, man, I forgot to give my shout out, man. I forgot his name, but I want to shout out, man. We rode the train with a couple who had just got married in Memphis as well. And when we got to New Orleans, I said, hey, man, what plans y'all have? Oh, man, we just going to hang out, man, and just kick it, man. And, just chill a little bit too, man. We away from family. We've been with family all weekend with the wedding and stuff. We was just going to kick it, chill. And I was like, "Oh, cool." Then he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to move to Memphis." I said, "You ready to move to Memphis?" I was like, he said, "Yeah, I'm the new trauma surgeon for Regional 1." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was a new trauma surgeon for Region 1, man. I forgot his name. But shout out to that guy, man, because that's big. It's big time. You know.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's big time. So and I told him, I said, "You're gonna have your hands full." He said, "Yeah, I already know." He said, "They called me this weekend trying to get me to come on in this weekend." And I was like, "Can't do it, my wedding," you know. So but shout out to him. I forgot his name, but and I hope he forgive me on that one. But shout out to him, man, becoming a new trauma surgeon for Region 1.
That man got married and got a new position.
Right.
Got 2 new positions.
moving to Memphis. Yep. But yeah, so do you think so like coming down here, I would at least had a couple $100, probably $200-300. Because I know the stuff we gonna do. We're gonna walk down Bourbon Street. Ain't gonna really cost us nothing to walk down Bourbon Street. But you know, we might get I don't really drink like that when we traveling like that. So Monica ain't drinking now. So I'm already looking like we ain't finna really buy no liquor because we don't really drink like that now. Food, we're gonna eat us some fish and shrimps and all that stuff. We're gonna eat that. So we're gonna eat, probably grab something down there. But we really just gonna kind of walk up and down the street, kind of see, then get on down. You know what I'm saying? And we like to go down to the French Market. We go down there. We like to go to the little mall, the little mall on down there where the cruise ships go out at. So I already know like what we gonna do, kind of, you know, and every now and then we'll try something different, something new. We add to the repertoire. But we pretty much kind of know because we didn't been to this city so much, man, you know. But when you go into a city, I do think it's prevalent that you look and see what you want to do, research and even now, Lavelle, you got to even look at what part of town you want to hang out in places.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, shout out to my nephew Jeremy too, man. We met Jeremy last night. He's in the city. Work with a job. He's on a job convention. And we got a chance to meet him last night and eat with him and hang out with him a little bit last night, man. So shout out to Jeremy doing his thing here.
Dig that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my other shout out.
So because y'all go to some part of Louisiana all the time. Was it Lake Charles?
Harahan.
Okay, I know y'all go to Louisiana pretty often.
Yeah, Harahan is literally about 15 minutes from New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah, you jump on the I-10 and you in downtown New Orleans and 15 minutes.
So y'all gonna get to visit them while y'all down as well?
Oh yeah, we already went by Pop's house. We was at Pop's house yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we got a chance to hang out with him, watch the game a little bit, and just kind of chill with him a minute. We probably swing back by that today too, holler at him. Yeah, so but I think it's because you can't say now, I ain't taking no money. I'm not gonna have no money in my pocket because I don't wanna you might be out of luck if you do that.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep a little change in your pocket. Luckily we're traveling with people who, at least somebody got some cash on them if we run into one of those situations. You know what I'm saying? So, and then push come to shove, I will go to the ATM. I just don't like paying the ATM fees, the extra ATM fees and stuff. If for some reason the internet go out citywide and we can't pay with card nowhere, well then I won't be able to use the ATM either. So that'll be jacked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a preference as to how you're gonna travel, because you got one thing about some people, they just strictlers about how much they gonna spend. They gonna stick to the record. Hey, we don't spend $900. That's all we spending.
But that's good. But that's good though. Because I think you should have a budget or a budgeted amount, that you're gonna spend. But that's based on you knowing what we gonna do when we get there. Right. And then I would always say have just a little small buffer because you don't want to have just enough money to do your stuff when you get there, because you still got to travel back. What if something happens? What if you get stuck? You know, so you might say, "Hey, we got $900 that we're gonna budget to spend in this location, but we're gonna take, $1,500."
I think you and Monica need to do a travel ebook.
Man, I didn't.
I just think a lot of people don't think about a lot of stuff like this when they travel. They just think, I'm going out of town, I'm gonna kick it. It's like out of sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have an ebook that I've done already, but it's based on living abroad, living and working abroad, that I was gonna do with Tammy, and so I could probably change that up a little bit, but the reason I wanted to do that because since we were talking about living abroad, and then I've just discovered too, man, even with the living abroad, there's so many different things that even come with that, man. That you're right. We probably need to do a book because it's different because the stuff is changing, man. When you start talking about visa programs in these different countries and stuff like that, the visa programs are changing, and they're changing to fit the expat lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of countries kind of conforming and saying, hey, we don't want to miss out on some of that expat money coming, people coming and bringing that expat money. We want to get some of that expat money too, And so they're curtailing their visas and stuff to kind of fit our needs or expat needs,
Right.
And and then they're figuring out a way to charge a little bit more money for this type of visa versus this type of visa. So it's essentially bringing money into their economy. And with most of the visas, even at a retirement visa, you gotta make so much money a month because they want to know that you're financially able to come and you're not a burden on society there.
Right. So,
and I think
I've always loved the thought and the art of traveling because it is an art to it. And traveling is a $1 trillion industry. But with the way the world is going now, we're talking about sending some children out of town. Man, just imagine, man. Like we say, it's some people that ain't been out of their neighborhood, and then with the cost of living still, just constantly going up. It's some people, man. It's like this is a dream come true to even go, 3 states over. You know what I'm saying? So I think now just even having the benefit to be able to travel is a luxury.
We were somewhere in Memphis, and we was talking to a guy. I don't know if it was a salesperson or something, and he said he had never been out of the city of Memphis. Never.
Wow.
And I'm talking about he's a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Good morning. He said he had never been out of the city of Memphis. Mm-hmm. And I just looked at him. I was like, wow. I'm talking about it. And, I wanted to ask him, shit, have you ever been out your neighborhood? Because he's like, I've never been out of the city of Memphis. I was like, not even to Mississippi or Arkansas? Mm-hmm. Nope. Never been out of Memphis. That's crazy. Not statewide, just out of the city of Memphis. Yeah, that's crazy, Cass. It's crazy. But, man, shout out to Janiyah, too, man. Janiyah went on her prom, man. Cass, baby, my little niece went on her prom, and she looked really beautiful going to her little prom, man. Shout out to her.
No doubt.
So when you think about traveling, because it seems like when I'm traveling, I think about these things and I try to bring these things while I'm traveling. But I think it's important that you do your research wherever you go, whatever you do now. You got to do your research. I don't even care if you leave going up the road to Mississippi, do your research.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because things are changing, and they're changing so rapidly, bro. Like what applied 2 weeks ago may not apply today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's almost like the stock market.
Yeah, exactly. It's really volatile, right? It changes, Yeah. So you never know. But if you do your research prior to you leaving, I talked about when we went to where did we go? Vietnam and Thailand last year, how I didn't do my research. And normally I'm really good about doing my research about where we going, make sure we know, we understand the culture. We can at least say, hey, hello in their language and stuff like, stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
And what I failed to research was the actual airports that we're flying through to get to these destinations, right?
Mhm.
And we ran into a hiccup in Korea
Mhm.
because I didn't do the research. And I
Mhm.
couldn't get mad at them folk, bro.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna be in their country get mad at them because they don't speak no English?
Yeah, you didn't do your due diligence.
And
Yeah.
I didn't do my job.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Was I frustrated? Yes, but I was more so frustrated at me because I didn't do the research. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And you get so many people that have that Americanized mindset when they go places. They expect for everything to be they expect for stuff to taste like it is here. They expect for it to be like it is here. And I'm like, you can't think like that going to somebody else's country.
Nope. You can't
You know
almost
what
think
I'm
like
saying?
that going out of it just in different states. I mean, like
Different
when me,
states,
and
same thing.
it's been 25 years ago, bro. When we went on our honeymoon and went to Miami, Florida, doc, we was in for a shock because by Miami being so close to like Haiti, it was so many of them different folks that was there. And we were like, man, why these folks talking Haitian? We still in the States like this, you know what I'm saying? So it was like a culture shock. So I'm just using
Yeah,
that. It's been that long ago, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. It's different, man, because we want everything to be like it is where we are, where we
Yeah,
from.
no.
And it's not, bro. The food is not gonna taste the same. Matter of fact, in most instances, it tastes better because they don't have all of those additives and stuff that they putting in it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Can't drink the water in certain places you go to. You got to buy water.
man, you had to buy water. Some states you go to, the US, you had to, we was here last night. If we get ready to eat, and sure order some glass of water. And Mark said, do y'all have bottled water? Like, oh yeah, we got bottled water. Okay, get you some bottled water.
Mhm.
So you have to think, when you go places. I would just, I'm gonna stick with do your research. Do
Yeah.
your research to make sure that you know where you're going, what to expect. And I just failed to do my research on the airports because I really never really thought about, hey, you're gonna be flying into this different airport or going through this different airport. It ain't gonna tell you what you're gonna see. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Mhm.
so I didn't do it. And when we got there, it was a big shock.
Yeah.
And we had to figure out because we couldn't say, hey, we're trying to catch our flight here, and they were just doing this, and
Right.
you're talking about you flying in international, you're flying in, you get into a place where the stuff is in Korean, because
Mhm.
everybody don't cater to the US and put up English up in all their airports.
Mm-mm.
So let me give y'all this too. If you're traveling abroad, there's an app called Google Translator.
Yeah.
You can literally put the translator on English or whatever, and you can hold it up to a sign and it'll translate that sign for you in English.
Mhm.
We do it all the time with menus because we go to places, the menu is in their language, and we hold the phone, the Google Translator over, and it'll convert the menu into English so we can know what we're ordering.
Right.
Yeah. So man, Google Translator, any kind of currency apps,
It was another one we
make
did
sure
a
you
while
make
ago. I forget what it was. It's another
yeah.
app. Yeah, that came
Well, with
together.
the currency apps, you got to make sure that those currency apps are updating in real time because
Mhm.
you might not get the right thing. But the Google Translator currency app, just make sure again, research because you go into somewhere and you think when I get there, I'm a Uber. And they only use Uber in that country. Then what?
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Uh, so look and see what you have, what you need to do, what apps you need to put on your phone before you get there. Because trying to get to a country and then trying to download the apps and trying to figure it out
Mhm.
is different.
Yeah.
I can tell you one now. Get you a Grab app. Get Your Guide app. Semify. All of these different things, because your cell phone ain't gonna be able to work in some of those places, but they sell these Semify cards, where these digital Semify cards where you can down and then you can actually use your phone while you're there for a 10-day period or 15-day period, and you pay a fee, and it gives you like a digital SIM card. Yeah. Who that? Is that Zoe?
Yeah, still congratulations.
Yeah, I saw somebody. Oh, that was Cass. And yeah, I use it often out of the country. Google Translate. And yep. So you have to, man. You do your research. And I think that's where anywhere you go, that's the message today. Do your research. Don't go half-cocked, because it's gonna be a culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a shock, bro.
This is what the effect of traveling now. It says traveling in 2026 is characterized by high demand coupled with caution, featuring increased yet more expensive air travel, widespread adoption of AI and biometric technology, and a shift toward personalized or curated experiences. Travelers are facing higher costs due to inflation, stricter baggage rules, and geopolitical disruptions affecting routes.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So now, the flights, for the most part, if you're going international, it would depend on where you're going. The flights are going to be your most expensive thing, unless you're in a country flying to a country over there. Sometimes you can get the flights a little bit more reasonable. But if you're flying from the U.S. to any other country, you get ready to pay for your flight. That's going to be the buck of your money that you spend, your flight.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready for it, because it's coming. And that's why, again, you don't wait till the last minute. You plan your stuff in advance, a year in advance, like what we do. We plan a year in advance. We already know where we're going next year. This year, we already know we're going next year, because we already talked about it, planning. All thing we hadn't did is sit down and went through the full planning stage, which we always do that, closer to the time. But, we already know where we're going, what dates we going, all that,
Now, you mentioned this one time before too, about y'all, maybe change y'all mind about going abroad, but it says traveler behavior have shifted. So while many travelers are eager for experiences, a growing segment is moving away from the revenge travel, never heard of, mindset of previous years, choosing to stay closer to home due to high inflation and travel fees. Those who are traveling are increasingly prioritizing convenience and safety over cost cutting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So people now, when they're traveling or they're thinking about moving abroad, their mindset now is, where can I go where I'm gonna be safe, right? Because safety, if they got kids, they're thinking about safety. They're thinking about great schools. They're thinking about medical. If you're an older person, you're thinking about, hey, I got this issue. I need to make sure I got good medical wherever I'm going. Got good medical, good hospitals, good care facilities. So you think those things are top three things now: school, healthcare, and safety. And then the whether it's reasonable or less expensive or not is kind of maybe the fourth thing. It's not even the highest thing on the list.
I'm thinking about people that smoke, because like if you smoke here in Memphis and move to California, you in for a shock. Because cigarettes here are like $5-6 a pack. You go to California, you talking about 10, close to 15, maybe depending on what kind you smoke. They say it's almost $20 a card, a pack, not even a card no more.
Yeah,
so
and
I would quit smoking like immediately.
And then, but then you go to some of these countries, and then they rolling up their own cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? They rolling up their own cigarettes. You ain't getting all this chemical in the cigarette because you're getting the pure, So it's different, bro. Like you just the shock of it, the shock and awe. I call it the shock and awe of it is what I think throw people off the most, right? I think it when you look at it and when you get there, first of all, you get to a place, they don't speak English. That's a big shock for some people. because they be saying, "Oh, they don't speak no English." You in their country, and that's the same way you feel like when they come over here, and then they be trying to, and they don't understand. They say, "You why you come here if you can't speak no English?" They saying the same thing about you. Why you come here if you don't speak no Korean?
Yeah.
Why you come here you don't speak Japanese? Why you come here you don't speak Thai?
Yeah.
You know, so it ain't no different. So you can't go with that mindset. You got to go with a really open mind and embrace the culture, embrace what you see, what you feel, what you hear, what you taste. You have to embrace it. You go over there and you ask for some orange juice, and they give you some pure squeeze orange juice, and you taste it, and they be like, "Oh, it's kind of bitter. It ain't all sweet like ours." It's not that processed juice.
Yeah.
Take it for what it's worth. It's gonna be better for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you get some chicken, and your chicken tastes way fresher. You're like, man, why did chicken taste so? It ain't got all them additives and stuff and all that processed stuff in it, right?
And a lot of these countries, you not knowing is not an excuse, because like especially like in Dubai over there, with my partner moved over there, you can't do no infection out in the public. There's so much stuff. He had a whole sheet of stuff that they couldn't do. And
research, man. You got to do your research. Don't go to some of these countries because you used to doing a crazy thing back home, and that was cute. It ain't. We actually, what was that about 2 or 3 weeks ago? Well, we highlighted the lady from Venezuela that was in Colombia making the monkey sounds to the people and now she they done locked her butt up. They don't play. You can't go and act a fool in other countries, man. And you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Or you think it's cute because it's cute back home and everybody laughing and joking back home. It ain't cute there. No, do your research, man, and understand what's going on before you run and jump out here and do something or say something to somebody to offend somebody.
Yep.
When Tony was getting ready to prepare to move to China, I had talked to this guy that had moved to China. He was from he had went to the university. I think he was a professor or something for the university. But anyway, he moved to China. He ended up getting married over there, married a Chinese lady over there. And so I talked to him, man. I talked to him about 2 hours on the phone, just trying to get all the ins and outs, because I didn't want my son to go over there and get caught up in nothing. And I told him, man, I didn't care what this call costs. We talked on the phone, man. He gave me he said, man, just tell him do this. He said, man, you know, if he keep his head, he said they got cameras everywhere, all that fighting in public and doing all that crap. He's like, man, and weed and so all that stuff, man. I said out my son, I told him all that stuff. I said, man, you go over there, man. Don't go there with that foolishness. And so I think I remember telling you one morning when Lil Tony was riding, he had either got off work. For us, it was morning time. For him, it was regular time. He was getting off of work, and this Chinese guy spit on him.
Yeah,
you remember? And he called us. He called us at like 2 or 3 in the morning, crying, and we just jumped up. We like, what's going on? He was so furious at the guy for spitting on him, and he was like, I said, Tony, maybe it was an accident. He said, no, Dad, he saw me coming, and he did it like he, getting it all up, and spit. And Tony said, I turned around. He said, I turned around. I went back. He said, I was going to whoop his butt. And he's like, I just thought about all the stuff you told me. And he said, they got cameras and stuff everywhere. He said, but he went back to the guy. He pointed to where the spit landed. I told the guy, you spit on me. He said the guy was smiling and laughing. Of course, he didn't understand, but he was smiling and laughing at him the whole time. And Tony said he just pulled that flame from the back of his throat. And he spit back on him. And he said the dude with the running and, and he said he just got on his moped and rolled off, so, but he was so angry and furious because the guy spit on him, and he literally did it. He was upset. And it was almost like the guy was daring him to kind of hit him. Like this big old black guy with dreads, if he hit me, And so, well, I ain't gonna say that, Cass, because Lil Tony, you know, outside of that incident, they treated him like royalty over there. That maybe they thought he was a football player or some athlete or something, but they generally treated him like royalty. When he went to the clubs and out to bars, he never paid for nothing. Everything was free to him. Yeah, so he loved it over there. Outside of that, he loved that, but he said he just didn't want to live there. He would just want to visit again. He just wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
that did take a lot of restraint. Dog. I would have been locked up.
Yeah. And so, but they said the same thing about Vietnam and Thailand. They don't like black people. Man, them people treated us with so much love over there. In Vietnam, they gave us nothing but love. Thailand, they gave us nothing but love, bro. Thailand, especially. Yeah, they gave us nothing but love, man. So it was cool just to be able to experience that. But again, if we had never really researched that, you know what I'm saying, and understood, you know, and then even when we got there and we was going through some of those cultural experiences and tours and stuff, and we would get, you know, we always would ask if we got a tour guide that spoke English, you know, or spoke some English. And generally, most of the tour guides that work for places speak English. They speak some type of English, or you know, they fluent enough to tell you everything that's going on. So we always ask for an English speaking guide if they have one. And I ask a lot of questions about the culture and what this represents and because I don't want you to show me something. I want you to tell me about it. I want to ask questions about it and what's the significance of it and all of that. It got so deep on our tour in Vietnam to the guy almost got emotional talking about the Vietnam War, and even when China raided Vietnam and talking about you know, the stuff that China did to him and stuff like. So it was he got emotional for him to the point where he was talking and he was literally getting kind of choked up, and I felt it. Like, you know, I was like, oh, okay, like he was passionate about that, you know.
Right.
And so and that was good, man. You know, we tend to, I don't care where we go, we tend to always get some really, really good tour guides that are passionate about what they do and they understand a lot of their culture, and you know, and they appreciate when you ask about their culture, as opposed to you just you know, you just taking in. When you ask, that shows a genuine interest in what their culture is all about, and you genuinely interested in learning and knowing.
That's why I literally, man, I despise a lot of these different gas stations and different stores where different foreigners, you know, own these different, you know, businesses and stuff. And you got some of us, man, we treat those folks like shit, man. I'm talking about, and I can't stand, because I'm the type of person, I get in, I try to know you, how you doing, sir? You know, they trying to, you know, live and survive just like you are. And I remember some years ago, I was working at this check cashing place, and I got kind of cool with one of the guys that owned the store next door. And he was like, man, he said, I love America. He said, because when I was living wherever he was from, I forgot where he was from, he was like, they make America like it be so bad. My country's way is not like y'all make it think it is. And he was just you know, telling me, like, and so we got real cool. Now, like, that made me just respect those people even more. We treat people like crap, man. I hate that, bro. But I was in the other day, and dude was talking so crazy to the dude behind the thing. I was like, I do pull that damn thing, got to blow your ass off.
But that's the thing, LaVelle. You got people in Africa telling Africans, don't go to the US, they don't like you.
Right.
Then you got people in the US, don't go to Africa, the Africans don't like y'all.
Yeah.
And when you get over there, it's totally different.
I stay across the street from an African. That man speak. I'm talking about, it could be 3:00 in the morning, we pulling out each other. He gonna wave and speak.
Yeah. It's totally, man, I'm telling you, it's totally different. Yeah. Are there maybe a handful of Africans here or there that don't like? Yeah, because maybe they jealous. Hell, are there Americans that don't like? Yeah, because they don't understand. They don't know. When you don't understand something, it's easy to don't like something you don't understand.
Yeah, they culture shock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But until you go and experience stuff for yourself, man, because I even felt like when we went to Korea that they wasn't as cordial as some of the other Asian countries that I've been. Mm-hmm. But that's what I experienced, and I felt like that only because they weren't as helpful. But again, if I had did my research, I probably wouldn't have felt like that.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different, man. So I think do your research, knowing what you want to do when you get to whatever city you're going to, making sure you got enough cash equivalent to what doing whatever you want to do just in case the card system fail. You know, you want to have your debit card, credit cards and stuff. And then you want to have I always tell people too, like your passports and IDs, have a copy of it in your phone. You know, so a lot of people don't like taking their IDs and because I would generally lock my passport up in the safe in the room and stuff like that and have a picture of it. I ain't gonna walk around another country with my passport because somebody walk up to you and jack you for your crossbody or your man bag or whatever with your passport, all that stuff in there, and all your cash, and I never carry all of my cash, all of my credit cards and all that stuff at one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I might have a couple of cards and some cash, and I got my in my phone. And then I got the rest of my stuff locked in the safe because if they get me, they don't get me for everything.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hope they don't get me at all. I'm praying they don't get me at all. But if they do get me, don't have them where they can get everything. You know, I've seen people, they took my passport. Now you sitting there waiting on the U.S. consulate or somebody to send you a duplicate passport. You got to pay all this extra money. You can't go nowhere. You can't leave. You can't. You stuck. No, take your picture of your passport, put it in your phone, and a lot of places will accept that picture on your phone. That passport. This is my passport. I don't carry my passport. Or get you two of them. You can get you a duplicate passport. Get you a passport card and a passport book.
Mm.
Maybe they get you one, they won't get both.
Hey, this is a good segue into our clock the tea I didn't get to do yesterday, but I think this is going to be a good one for Queen. We're going to clock the tea with our girl Queen Walkers.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea. With your girl, Queen Walker. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Y'all, spring break. I remember spring break being fun. A time where you literally take a break from school, from work, just go chill. But now, them YNs making people cancel want to cancel spring break. Let's talk about it. So from Houston, Texas to Dayton, Florida, they've been having so many people there, y'all, that majority of the places are packed out. That will bother me because not only you didn't got dressed and went to this place, now you gotta wait hours to get in there. Then you're gonna wait hours to get your food, or it's gonna be so packed you're gonna be sweating and just a lot going on. But they like crowds. YNs like crowds like that, right? For chaos, seems like. Because they're shooting on beaches with police officers on the beach. Don't care. Don't care. You got children that's probably on the beach, like little kids as well, because it ain't just for certain age people, a certain age group going to a beach. You got children on there, and you just shooting a crowd. You got elderly people on there, you just shooting a crowd. Forget that. You got humans on the beach, and you're just pum all in the crowd. Make it make sense. So why it seems as if at this point just like chaos, because it's not a specific person that you pum in it. It's like just doing a mess for fun. And when you see in the officers arrest these people, they not upset. They kind of giggling like it's funny.
Mm-mm.
They had to arrest 133 people last weekend. 133 spring breakers. You didn't spend all your money to get down to wherever you went, and now you're gonna have to spend court fees, probably bail, whatever. For what? And on top of that, gas stations are packed. People having parties at gas stations. Restaurants are wanting to close down, close their doors because of how much chaos is going on. It was a guy that was driving by recording how many people is in one spot. Ain't that a fire hazard?
Mhm.
To have that many people in one place, one vicinity, that's insane.
Hmm.
Like I'm 29, y'all, and I feel like it's definitely insane. You wouldn't catch me in the middle of neither one of those crowds. If I see a crowd like that, I'm turning around. Cause it's no fun standing and waiting in line like that or standing up. I wear heels majority of the place I go anyway. So all that standing and waiting and stuff, that's just a lot. And while you standing and waiting, you seeing people having sexual intercourse in cars, waiting in traffic. What's the point? Y'all not even, you would have did better by recording and putting it on OnlyFans and made you some money. Now you just
Probably
going
would.
viral on social media, not getting paid for nothing. Like if you're gonna do some mess like that, you might as well benefit from it. I'm just saying. Like that's crazy. That's insane. Then there's doctors that are coming saying the STD rates has skyrocketed. So what y'all doing? Going out there just giving it out to any and everybody. You just giving it out. Make it make sense to how it makes sense, y'all. You got restaurants want to close their doors, and you got cities that's wanting to cancel spring break. We can't go nowhere, and act civilized. You spend all this money to go and enjoy yourself, have fun. Why not? That's how I remember spring break. Fun, get out there, get away, enjoy yourself. Now it's all hell that breaks loose. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's gonna be where the little kids can't even enjoy their spring break. Parents not gonna want to take them to specific areas that's high in spring break, like that people usually go for spring break. Parents that got common sense probably ain't gonna want to take their little kids out there. It's too much going on. I just hope it does calm down because it can only get worse. Why get locked up on a week that you're supposed to be enjoying your life? What's the real point? All right, y'all, that's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all be safe if you are traveling for spring break. Don't forget to stay tuned for 2 Minute Hats Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
So that's my segue, because now you understand why you got these countries that have these standards and when you can't do certain things because it affects their bottom dollar, it affects the economy. You talking about restaurants closing and all that? That's crazy,
yeah,
bro.
even most like these cities now, these very popular spring-based cities. Like I've never, even when my children were coming up and we were doing all the spring break trips, I never wanted to go to those cities where they were super popular like that, like the Daytona Beach. I never would go doing spring break. I went to Daytona Beach every Christmas, you know.
Yeah.
But those popular places like that, I wouldn't go during spring break. We would find somewhere else to go. You know, we would go like Puerto Rico, different, and it would be some spring breakers there, but it wouldn't be crowded like a Daytona Beach. It wouldn't
Right.
be, we go to Jamaica. It wouldn't be crowded like a day. You know what I'm saying? So we would go places where they could still have a good time, enjoy themselves, and not have to deal with the foolery.
Because man, why are you on the beach with a gun, doc? I mean, you're supposed to be
But you came for the stuff.
Yeah, you came with it.
You came for, like Queen said, you came for chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they think that stuff look cute.
No, doc.
You come out there blazing a 45 or you got Ebony out there, you got your switch out there on the beach. Why? When folk out there trying to enjoy themselves, swimming and laid back with the bathing suits on, and you want to shoot up the beach.
No, that's a coward anyway. Because if it's somebody you want to shoot or kill, you're gonna pull up on them.
Man, I'm just saying, man, they do stupid stuff, bro. Anyway, well, thank y'all for tuning in today, man, on this terrific Tuesday. You know, I didn't have a specific topic, but it seemed like we kind of went that way anyway.
Oh, yeah,
and we always do when we have these.
And I'm glad I didn't do the tea yesterday because it just go in what we talked about.
Yeah, the Freestyle Fridays, when we do the Freestyle Fridays and Terrific Tuesdays, Throwback Thursdays, we always come back, Wild and Out Wednesday, we always come up with some kind of topic, man, still that you know, that keep us going, man. That's like I said, man, I always try to, my everyday life when I'm walking around, I'm always thinking about content. I'm always thinking about stuff that's relevant, though, that makes sense. That we can learn from. I don't just want to throw something out there, just be throwing it out there. I want to throw something that we can learn, something that's going to help us. And so we can be, again, the better versions of ourselves, you know. And if giving out some great travel tips and stuff like that, help people to travel and be more safer and understand, hey, you know, not to be in that shock and awe when you go to another country and you realize stuff is just different, you know. Mm-hmm. Whatever helps you, man, is what we're all about. So thank you guys for tuning in on today.
Yep. Don't forget, man, we need those Easter eggs in. We need those Easter eggs in. I ordered mine this morning. So y'all must make sure y'all get those eggs in. And Tony them us they already have theirs. I think Queen is gonna order hers. I think Miss Gwen has hers. So we're gonna have some. We can't have too many. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a big turnout this year.
We want to have more eggs. We want to bring more eggs than the people that's putting it on.
Right. Yeah,
and not only that, if you want to donate hot dogs, hot dog buns, stuff like that as well.
Oh, we just talking about some Easter bags too. Did we say something about the Easter bags?
Yeah, the Easter bag, like small Easter bags where the kids can put the eggs in. Because last year they came out there with garbage bags, and that's a no this year. So if you want to, if you just don't want to go get the eggs and stuff canned, and you want to do something different, I'm that chips, hot dog buns, stuff like that, so they can feed the kids as well. Yeah, Capri Sun, juices, water, whatever, man. So thank you guys for doing whatever you do. We appreciate it.
Yep. And again, y'all make sure y'all, man, I didn't have the video up. We can worry about it now. The picture. Y'all make sure y'all get ready to cast your votes, man, for my boy Darrell Lewis, man, running for Shelby County assessor. Also, I forgot. Y'all make sure y'all cast your votes for Lavelle, DJ One Love. I can win $25,000, man. I don't even know what I did with the picture, but anyway, it's in the 2 Minute Hats group. I put it in there. You can vote every day up until I think it's 10 days. Mm-hmm. And I just found out that actually, like, you get so many days, and then you get kicked out of the running in some kind of way. But it is what it is. I'm honored to be, even recognized to do it. So
right. Y'all make sure y'all vote for DJ One Love, man.
Yeah, so let's pray. Most gracious Eternal God, our Father, Lord God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this time. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for just waking us up this morning, Lord God. We ask you to continue to bless Tony and them while they out of town and join each other, join family and honeymooning. Thank you for Tony family, my family, Queen family, and everybody that's associated with us. Continue to bless us through the rest of this week, and we actually do it in our Son Jesus' name. And we said, Amen.
Amen. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same bad time,
same bad place.
2 Minute Hats. Let's talk about it.
Good morning. You already know what time it is. Tony, Lavelle, 2 Minute Hats podcast. Pull up to the table, grab a seat, let's begin. Real conversations when the hats come in. Life lessons, relationships too. Different perspectives, but the talk stay true. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Life, love, truth, and wisdom. Yeah, we talking about it. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Don't miss it on Facebook and YouTube. Pull up and go kick it. Tony got perspective. The Veil bring it truth. And when Queen Watkins pull up, she spilling that tea for you. Queen Watkins segment. Like that TAT. You know when Queen step in the room, the conversation getting real soon. Real soon. Yeah.